Kim Kardashian is not naive. She is a branding icon. On this past week's episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, we see her law school graduation party. She has repositioned herself as a justice advocate, reform spokesperson, and a woman who stands with other women. This isn't random growth, it's a rebrand. So when Kim Kardashian is photographed next to Britney Spears, smiling, calm, protective, almost maternal in posture, that image is doing work. Not emotional work, brand work. Being seen as a stabilizing presence next to Britney serves Kim's current brand perfectly. And that's the point. Because what we are watching is not friendship, it's optics. A brand covering the real inner workings at hand. So let's get into it. Britney Spears in the early 2000s didn't just dominate pop culture. She invented the modern celebrity economy. She gave us global pop domination, brand deals before influencer culture existed, and image monetization before social media. She was a walking corporation before women were allowed to admit that's what they were. Every endorsement, every Pepsi commercial, every red carpet look. Britney laid the groundwork for the influencer economy before it had a name. And then the machine turned on her. The Kardashians didn't create fame culture. They optimized it. They took the world Britney helped create and ran it like a family business. And unlike Britney, they did it with airtight legal structures, internal family management, and total narrative control. With Kris Jenner at the helm, and let's be honest, she is a marketing and storytelling genius, there was never going to be room for chaos, court-appointed conservators, or loss of control. No K-named conservators in their future. And that's where the resentment and suspicion begins. Because Britney was consumed by the machine. The Kardashians learned to operate it. So people ask the uncomfortable question, was it intentional to steer clear to the top while leaving iconic 2000s women behind, publicly shamed, legally broken, and quietly discarded? Maybe, maybe not. But the outcome speaks loudly. Now, fast forward. Britney is post-conservatorship, visibly fragile, reclaiming autonomy, publicly scrutinized and emotionally raw. Kim, on the other hand, is polished, controlled, legally trained, and brand-aligned. So when people see Kim beside Britney, it triggers an instinctive reaction. Why does this feel like optics instead of care? Because it is pattern recognition. We've seen this before. Britney herself told us this wasn't one villain. In court, she described network doctors, therapists, business managers, lawyers, security, etc. No single person feels fully responsible, yet the harm was total. That's what makes people search for coordinators. So when the Kardashians appear, polished, silent during #FreeBritney, and then suddenly present afterward, people don't see rescue. They see the timing. During #FreeBritney, when speaking up carried risk, the Kardashians were quiet. Now, when being seen as supportive is safe and profitable, they appear. Silence isn't guilt, but strategic silence leaves a residue. Let's talk about the now infamous sleepover. The images, the captions, the casual framing. My opinion? This wasn't about Britney feeling safe. It was about Kim and Cade protecting in the most classic, media-approved way possible. Invite her over. Smile. Post proof. Call it friendship. We have absolutely seen this play out in pop culture narratives before. Mean Girls wasn't fiction. It was commentary. Art imitates life because life keeps repeating the same power dynamics. And Britney has always been the girl everyone claims to protect, right before benefiting from her proximity. Let's be clear. There is a structural proximity between Britney Spears and the Kardashian ecosystem. And yes, physically too. Hidden Hills and Thousand Oaks are about 12 miles apart. But more importantly, the proximity is industrial. Shared entertainment lawyers, overlapping PR firms, similar branding consultants, all the same old Hollywood machinery. That doesn't mean conspiracy. It means systems overlap, and systems protect themselves. This is usually where Lou Taylor's name gets dropped. Abruptly, suspiciously, like a twisted villain. But real life doesn't work like that. Lou Taylor wasn't a social figure in Britney's life. She wasn't a party regular. She wasn't a girls' night presence. She was a business manager, someone whose role lived in budgets, contracts, and estate management. Sometimes absence isn't a strategy. Sometimes it's simply an exit. Let's clear something up while we're here. The Kardashian Christmas party is not an intimate gathering. It's an industry event. Hundreds of people, influencers, executives, athletes, plus ones the hosts don't even know. Not being there does not imply exclusion, guilt, or secret ties. It implies nothing. Same with Kathy Hilton's holiday party, which, by the way, is literally sponsored by DirecTV. These aren't dinner tables. They're branded environments. Attendance doesn't equal influence. Absence doesn't equal involvement. If someone were still pulling strings, we'd see financial continuity, overlapping intermediaries, clean transition, and controlled narratives. Instead, what we see is mess. New management, new lawyers, public instability, visible autonomy, uncomfortable, imperfect autonomy. And that's not how controlled systems behave. Controlled systems are tidy. Britney's life right now is not simple. Trust was broken for too long. When trust breaks, every smile looks staged, every post feels strategic, and every party feels transactional. That doesn't mean kindness isn't real, but it explains why the questions don't stop. And maybe that's the real takeaway. When systems fail women loudly enough, no amount of branding, and no matter how polished, can erase the doubt.